welcome all to this third annual residential workshop organized by International Peace Research Initiative (NIAS), KS New Delhi, and Center for South Asian Studies, Pondicherry University. It's an honor to have NIAS team once again here in Pondicherry University campus, because we have been continuously working on this particular topic and topics related to peace and conflict and international relations for more than four and a half years. So it is really happy to have your team back to Pondicherry. And amidst of heavy rains in Chennai, I think Chennai people could not able to make it today, but they will be joining us tomorrow. So at the outset, let me welcome all the participants as well as students of our Center for South Asian Studies for this event. Now I request Professor Subramaniam Raju sir to welcome the gathering officially.
Good afternoon to everyone. Respected Vice Chancellor Professor Tarani Karasu, Professor B.B. Mohanty, Dean School of Social Sciences and International Studies, Pondicherry University, Professor Subhash Chandran, Dean School of Conflict and Security Studies at National Institute of Advanced Studies, faculty members, scholars, students from different parts of country, and also the students from Pondicherry University. I'm very happy to welcome you all for this International Peace Research Initiative on IPRI third annual residential workshop, because the third time also we are having at Pondicherry University. So we are very thankful to Professor Subhash Chandran and National Institute of Advanced Studies for giving this opportunity to the Pondicherry University to organize this very important workshop on different themes. For the next 4 days, we are going to discuss on climate change, SDGs, contemporary conflicts around the world. And also it is very important for us to look at this workshop is unique because we have mainly the participation as well as presentations are going to be made by the young scholars or young minds. And it's time for us to look at and listen to the young minds, how they are going to view the various issues around us. In that sense, it is very important for us to acknowledge the opportunity given to Pondicherry University to organize this third workshop on discussing on different issues. We are also thankful to KS for supporting this event, though it was also supported earlier 2 events. And moreover, we are talking about this workshop is connecting or having a network among 12 universities, colleges and institutions, which is really very important. Again, credit goes to Professor Subhash Chandran, who is at NIAS, is connecting people from different institutions. And that is one aspect. Recently, when you look at new education policy, they look at giving weightage for outreach programs. And it is a classical example that NIAS has already taken over this important responsibility to reach many universities across the country and particularly South India. And this network is working, and also NIAS is also conducting online courses where some of our students are also enrolled for the courses, and also many times our students are going to give presentations and participating in different events which are organized in different places under the leadership of Professor Subhash Chandran. So I welcome you all for this 4-day workshop, and we certainly will have meaningful discussion or discourse on issues, as I mentioned to you earlier, about climate change, SDG, and contemporary conflicts. So thank you all for coming over here to grace this occasion. And also I must place on record to express our thanks to Professor Tarne Karasu, who has recently assumed Vice Chancellor in charge, and probably this is the first time in the capacity of Vice Chancellor in charge, Professor Tarne Karasu is here. So we heartily welcome you, sir, and also Professor B.B. Mohanty, who is also with us today, though despite his busy schedule, he made it possible to be with us today. So thank you all. And I stop here, and let us hope that we will have meaningful discourse on issues for the next 4 days. Thank you.
Now I request Professor Subhash Chandran sir, the Dean, to inform the gathering about the theme of the workshop. Thank you.
Let me start with a thank you note to the university. This is the third time you have been kind to host this workshop at the university. In this very room a few years before, we started this what we called as Young International Peace Research Initiative, an initiative for young scholars to come together in a 3 days or 4 days as a residential workshop. We started 3 years before. This is the third time we are gathering. We are thankful to the university and especially the Vice Chancellor and the entire team, and Professor Subramaniam Raju and the center, the faculty. I see that all of you are here whenever we are here. Let me thank the faculty here and Subramaniam Raju, a friend of mine, for hosting us. Also on behalf of our on behalf of the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, who has partnered us in this process. It was initially meant as a research process, so we call it as International Peace Research Initiative. And thanks to the support from the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, we could bring this Young International Peace Research Initiative. So what is this Young International Peace Research Initiative? We started in this auditorium a couple of years before. It aims to bring young scholars such as you, MA, MPhil, PhD, and young faculty at assistant professor. This is the audience that we are looking at. So it aims to help them to understand. That's the second point. Build capacity. You may ask, what is the capacity that we are talking about? To look at issues not from the past, to look at issues that are ahead of us, ahead of the curve looking. So if you look at the focus of this workshop, we are looking at on 3 days, we are looking at three broad themes. One, the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. This I want us to understand, all of us. This is one area that we may want to invest and emphasize as a part of our research. This is for the next 8 to 10 years. The SDGs are going to be one of the most prominent issues relating to peace and conflict when we study. So it is important for us to understand what is this SDGs linked with peace and conflict, and how I can contribute as a researcher, which area I can work, and how do I make myself a person to reckon with in this process. So day after, in this auditorium, we will be having a bunch of young faculty from different institutions in South India talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, but linking it to India. The 2 sessions we have around 12 presentations, linking it, the experience from Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka and Andhra, the South Indian states. SDGs is a global phenomenon, but then we are looking at how we have performed in those SDGs. So that is the point, that you have a global issue, bring it to local. So that's the capacity that I'm talking about. The second thing, as a part of these workshops, also aim to bring different institutions and different scholars from different places, especially in southern part of India. So here, as I speak, we have people from Calicut to Kanyakumari sitting with us, or from Kolkata to Kottayam sitting with us. So we are building a group of young scholars from different institutions. In the second page, if you notice in the inner cover page, it is this hall. That was the last year's workshop we had. You'll be surprised to see how many of them have come from other parts of South India. So it was a momentous thing that we did last year, and we are hoping it will continue. The last thing is, besides capacity building and bringing a network, we also aim to publish. Whatever we do at the Institute in National Institute of Advanced Studies, we take pride in having an output. I can take pride in telling this, with all humility. Young scholars from institutions may have published more commentaries in the Hindu this year than any other institution in this country. That I can take pride in that. I think around 10 or 12 commentaries in the last 3 months in Hindu, that says people with the MA background or MPhil background, that says something about what we are doing. So that is the capacity building, that's the output that we are talking about. Maybe I take this opportunity to invite two of my young scholars to present you a bunch of publications that we have done in the last 6 months or so. Anna Maria and Driti, please. So they edit they co-edit our weeklies. Why don't you also join Femi, and we'll give a bunch. Rishika, please. So all these publications, I take the credit, but all the hard work is done by them. Maybe you should give it, please. You should give it to Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Dean. So this has 4 weeklies. So every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, we have 3 weeklies published. It's not an easy task. I'm sure you would understand. And this work is the result of what we did last year here. The why conflicts continue. May I request Priti, Shamini. Thank you. My sincere request to you on this occasion is, next year when we do something like this, the 4th workshop, I sincerely hope there will be a couple of scholars from this university are also along with the crowd handing over the same thing to Honorable Vice Chancellor next year. Thank you. Thank you team for all that support. On the workshop, I'll just take a minute. So one part of the workshop is on SDGs, and the other part of the workshop, this I want all of us to link it to the climate change. Climate change is also another big growth industry, especially for research scholars, looking at from peace and conflict issues. The fact that we are here in the midst of cyclone says something about why we should invest in climate change and study that. Yeah. So this workshop, one part is SDGs and the other part is climate change. And the climate change we are looking at from peace and conflict, from gender, from migration perspectives. On this count, I want us also to look into, when we look at peace and conflict, we don't look into the gender aspect. So I'm glad that some of the presentation that we will have during the workshop will have gender as a part of this. So my humble request to all the scholars gathered here is, whatever you do, either it's demography or migration, have these 2 components as a part of it. One is climate change and the other one is gender. You will go a long way. You may ask, I'm working on this, I'm working on mathematics, how will I bring gender on that? There is a huge field called STEM. Science, technology, education and mathematics, engineering and mathematics. Women in STEM is a huge area. So you may want to keep this climate change and STEM, and gender as a part of your research. Maybe during the next 3-4 days we will discuss this. And also in my session I'll talk to you on what subject we should research, what we could research on. Now that's a part of this workshop. Once again, let me thank sir for hosting us for the third time. I hope next year you will be kind enough to host us. We hope to bring another set of publications to you. Thank you, Raju, and Humayun and the faculty here, Santosh and Purushottam. Thank you all for hosting us. Thank you.
Respected Vice Chancellor of our University, Professor Tarin Kursu, the Professor Subramaniam Raju, the Dean International Relations, and Dr. Subhash Chandran from International Peace Research Institute, NIAS, and our colleagues, Professor Purushottam, Dr. Matthew, and all other colleagues present here, the participants. At the outset, I must congratulate Professor Raju for organizing this unique workshop in collaboration with NIAS. And I know Dr. Raju has been actually organizing series of programs. He has organized maximum number of programs to my knowledge in the school, and a very active scholar, and periodically he organizes different programs. So this is one of them, and this is unique. As I heard from Dr. Subhash Chandran, that it is a capacity building workshop for the young scholars, and to develop writing skill and to develop actually better understanding, it is organized. And I must tell you, in social sciences, unlike physical sciences and natural sciences, we need a kind of different training in the writing skill, because we have to write lengthy papers and on reading a lot of kind of literatures, and how to conceptualize the problem, that is also very difficult kind of task. So you may be having some understanding, some amount of understanding going through the newspapers or some books, but how to put as a kind of a problem and analyze in a kind of proper perspective, write a piece which will be of publishable quality, it's a very difficult task, and you need a kind of thorough debate, discussion, and also interaction. So such kind of workshop, I know it will give a kind of very good platform to all of you to learn from your mutual experiences as well as your interaction with the resource persons who are here. So this is the third workshop. First two workshops have already been successfully organized, and many more workshops will also come up in future. And this workshop also, we wish that this should be actually a very successful workshop, and we should come up with a kind of concrete outcome, that some concrete kind of publications, all of you should get the benefit. Not that 5 days long workshop is a very good opportunity to learn many things. You know what actually Dr. Subhash Chandran was telling, that gender aspects, sustainable development goals, conflicts, peace, both local, regional and national and global perspectives. You can have a kind of discourse and debate among yourselves, and you can equip yourself with the current literature and developments, which resource person definitely they will give you the feedback. So I am sure this will be very useful for you, and you can make use of this opportunity, interact freely, and come up with some kind of new ideas, innovative ideas, which will result in concrete publications. I will not take much time. I wish the workshop very grand success. All the best. Thank you so much.
Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to deliver his presidential address.
Yeah, respected Dean Professor Mohanty, and Dean Internal Studies Professor Subramaniam Raju, and Dr. Subhash Chandran, the organizer, and all the delegates, faculty members, good evening everyone. I am happy to know that the department is organizing the workshop for 4 days, and all these topics are very hot topic, and also one of my favorite topics also. I can talk hours together, because the buzzword here is climate change and conflicts, and then SDGs. So all these are basically, there is a scientific basis on this. As I am a chemist, so I know the science behind this. Maybe you are working on the politics behind this. So I know the science behind this, how it is originating and where it is leaded. Because you may not know the reason behind this, why this conflict is unnecessary, why this climate change suddenly altogether pops here, and climate change, if you take 100 years ago, nobody was talking about this climate change. Our earth is not 100 years old, it is million years old. Nobody talks about climate change, correct? But now everyone talks about climate change. What is the reason behind this? There is a scientific background. And similarly, the SDGs, even 50 years ago, nobody talks about this SDGs. Suddenly it is a hot topic. There is a SDG, even our university is applying for this SDG. Separately our university campus, we are applying how we are performing SDGs, all these 17 goals, we are working on this. So there is a reason behind this, but it is serious also. It is not like the conflicts where sometime it exists, but it is already over. In Indo-Pakistan conflict, it started in 1947. Before this, there was no conflict, but now still continues. But whereas the climate change and then SDGs, it is very serious issues, and of course the conflicts also. So let me take first the climate change. So you must be knowing our solar family. First is Sun, then Mercury, then Venus, then we have Earth, correct? Then rest of the thing. So which is the hottest planet here? Can anyone say which is the hottest planet? Venus. Any other? You are very well about this result. Venus or any other? Mercury is the closest planet. Please remember. Mercury should be then hottest, but he says Venus. Is it correct, or Mercury is the hottest? Any idea? You must know this since you are reading about climate change. You must know this. There is a reason behind this. Why the Venus is hottest? It is nothing but climate change. Climate change, not directly related to the climate change. Climate change is the comparative statement, but it is basically the greenhouse gas which exists in the Venus. The greenhouse gas, whatever exists in too much greenhouse gas, whatever the sun which is coming into the greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. One of the greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide. Whatever the heat comes into the planet, and since it is covered with the carbon dioxide over that Venus, it is not going out. That is why that is very hot. Whatever comes here and then stays here, because carbon dioxide is not allowing outside to dissipate. That is the reason, whereas in Mercury it is not like this. If you see the Mercury temperature, the one side temperature will be very hot, another side will be minus in Mercury. You go and check it. These are the facts which will be very useful to write when you talk about not the scientific paper, at least you can relate this. Because of this only, the Venus is very hot because of the greenhouse gas. Same thing here also now. Because of the greenhouse gases only, the climate change is taking place. Then you have to question also, why suddenly, all of a sudden, the climate change is very hot topic. What has happened? Why this climate change? Because you are all researchers. Any point on this? Why suddenly, all of a sudden, climate change is a hot topic? No idea? Yeah, please, she is trying to say. Pardon? Urbanization, yes, it is one of the point, okay, good. But urbanization was not there earlier? Okay. But our civilization, if you go Harappa civilization, that time also urbanization was there. Usage of fossil fuels. Okay. Somebody who has told this? Usage of fossil fuels. Okay, let us use fossil fuel. How it is affecting Earth? How is affecting our greenhouse gas? Yeah, these are all good points, but there is the overall view is you have to also understand. Overall, this is all are interlinked, politics and science, and then the situation, all these things, civilization, all these are interlinked. The ultimately wisdom is missing. The wisdom of setting up our urban culture, that is missing. But nobody, the policy makers, that's what you are trying to help the policy makers. You have done this, please save our earth, please change your policy. That is your major role. For this, you are advisors now, ambassadors. So for this, you have to have full knowledge about this. That's why I am trying to say this. So when it comes to our earth, the climate change, if you take the urbanization took place because of the industrial revolution. It takes place in 1920s, 1990s like this. So many, mostly European countries, they thought that export, if you do the export, then our economy will grow. Our economy, if it is strong economy only, we can rule other countries. So they worked on this. They thought that the industrial growth is the main criteria to control the world. For this, they needed the energy to run any machine in the industry, all those things. There only they took the fossil fuel. Earlier, without fossil fuel, we were running the earth. But all of a sudden, we started utilizing this fossil fuel, and then coal and petroleum and gas as the major, they have started. There is no again policy decision on this. So before we go about this, whether carbon dioxide evolution is not there other than the fossil fuel, that is the important question you should understand. Whether carbon dioxide evolution is there other than fossil fuel. I am not getting, but anyone elaborate what she is trying to say? See, when I am taking a class, chemistry class also, I ask, why do we inhale? Why do we exhale? No one, unfortunately, even a chemistry student do not know. Whenever we inhale, we take the oxygen present in the air, it goes into this and burn our energy in the glucose is burning and we are getting energy. That's why our body is always warm. 37.5 degree means outside is 27 degrees, but still our body is 37.5 degrees. How we are getting energy is because of this glucose burning inside our body. Once we burn the glucose, the carbon dioxide will be there. That we are exhaling. It is not only now. Whoever is exhaling, inhaling, even the plants exhale carbon dioxide. We also exhale, animals are exhale carbon dioxide. But that time there was no climate change issues. There was no fossil fuel, the climate change as well as the greenhouse gas effect issues. But now only we are all of a sudden is getting. Because whatever we inhale or exhale, whenever we exhale carbon dioxide, then plant is taking it as their food. and it makes at the glucose our food for this. So by this it is now it was the adjusted. Whatever we exhale, plants is taking carbon dioxide. It makes, if you study the photosynthesis, you will understand this. That is the system, it was stabilized. Without plants, we cannot live. Without us, they cannot live also. We are giving carbon dioxide. They are taking carbon dioxide, they are giving us oxygen also. This is the equilibrium, or this is the adjustment. But all of a sudden, if you give this fossil fuel, then the exhaling of fossil fuel in the greenhouse gas in the roads and other places, this is, and during the urbanization, we are reducing the trees and increasing the usage of this fossil fuel. That is why she said the urbanization. But even urbanization, if you reduce the usage of the fossil fuel and increase the usage of the trees, unfortunately, we don't have now how much carbon dioxide we are exhaling, how much plants are utilizing it. We don't have any standard in this. So when the policy makers, they have to understand this. Wherever they build, whatever the number of people they stay, wherever the fossil fuels they are using, they should standardize it. In this area, this much plant only is there. You cannot use more than that. If you standardize it, that's why we call now the zero carbon emission. It is not the no carbon emission. We cannot say no carbon emission. We are exhaling carbon, CO2, and then plant is taking the carbon. But zero means whatever we exhale, something should be there. Whatever we exhale in the fossil fuel, some plants or something else should be there to take it up. So this is the zero carbon emission. If you can manage this, then no greenhouse gas, no climate change also. This is the basis of science. I thought I will discuss with you. Same thing for conflict. If you read this conflict also, these are all very simple matter. Politicians now, they are the policy makers. They have to also think on those lines. But now it is working as a different cell. But there is no cohesive movement of this cell. Same thing for the SDGs. Yes, SDGs, why it is brought out is, every government now they want to become the superpowers. They want to become the economically they are economically superpower also. But they don't worry about what are the things we have to do to safeguard our earth, safeguard the minimum things like climate change, or whatever the pollution level. What is the pollution level we should bring down to improve our economy? Those things they don't care. So now we are also bringing these 17 goals. While we are improving our economy, these 17 goals also we have to take care of. Please, you must be reading this. There is a very interesting, these 17 goals. So below water, poverty, energy, all those things are the very important points. If we can take care of this, even the climate change also will be taken care, and the conflict also to some extent will be taken care. So some of the conflicts are energy based. Energy, how to grab the energy from this so that we will be superpowers. So all these things are very hot topics. So I thank Professor Subhash Chandran and Professor Subramaniam Raju to bring this concept into the young minds and discuss on this. So we were lucky, at least we can able to inhale, exhale enough oxygen. But if you keep on continue in this way, and the climate change and the pollution, at one stage it is unbearable. That stage, even if we don't use the fossil fuels, we cannot live. Those stages we should not reach. So everything in your hand. So take this seriously and use your, she is smiling. Take this seriously. You may be thinking what is great we can do. So this is very serious issue, and we don't know in future you may be holding a very important post. There this knowledge will be useful. So definitely these are the topics are very important. Take this seriously and publish also. I saw this, you have done very good publications, and this is very useful for the scientific community also and the policy makers also. So, and thank you for KAS and NIAS for supporting this event, and thank you our Center for South Asian Studies, Pondicherry University, and all the faculty members. They are, as our Dean mentioned, they are bringing many this type of workshop and giving training. Our university main goal is giving training to young minds. So in that way, so this is very useful. And once again, congratulate Center for South Asian Studies for arranging this. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir, for bringing scientific dimension on this theme of the workshop. At the outset, let me thank the university administration for supporting us in all the way to conduct this workshop. And next 3 days we are going to have a very serious deliberations. And as a director of studies, sir has extended 100% support. As a vice chancellor, now we will expect 200% support and encouragement from the office for the future activities of Center for South Asian Studies, sir. Thank you very much for your time spending here, and thank you very much, sir. And also I thank Professor Subhash Chandran, sir, for bringing another set of research scholars to Pondicherry University, because we have been seeing a big transition of scholars coming and going with flying colors from the same campus, and it is sir's sir's encouragement that makes you people to work on this area and publish as much as possible during your stay in NIAS. Similarly, he is also giving opportunities for the university scholars and students, irrespective of MA, first year, second year, PhD, no difference. If you are capable, you are there. So that is the professional commitment that Subhash sir has given to us, and we try to exploit that one this year also, sir. And we have a bunch of newcomers this year with so much of enthusiasm. Hope they will also be going to be competitors to your students. Let us see. Thank you very much, sir. And finally, I wish to thank all the faculty members of Center for South Asian Studies for extending their help. And thank you very much.